Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you guys a bridal look, and this is a bridal look that can be used on either a bride or like a bridal party. So I actually do wedding makeup, not like full time, but the last wedding I did this style for all of the bridesmaids, and it was really pretty, so I decided to make a video out of it. My goal was to make it look really natural yet still enhanced, because a lot of the girls in the bridal party don't wear makeup very often, so I didn't want them to feel like they were like clowns with a bunch of full-on glam makeup. So I figured out this look and did it on them just so they can still have makeup on for the wedding and for pictures and it look really good while still not feeling like they weren't themselves. Now, I still use the same bronzer and blush and highlighter that I did in my last makeup video that I showed you guys, but I do use a different foundation and concealer, mainly just because it's summertime. But I have switched to the Clinique Even Better Skin, and let me tell you, this is some of like the best foundation. I'm wearing it right now, and I'm not wearing concealer yet because I'll do that after eyes, but like my skin still looks like skin, yet it still had like full coverage of like covering up everything that I wanted to cover up. So this is a really pretty foundation to go with, just to make sure that their skin still looks like skin. And the concealer I started using the Becca Ultimate Coverage Concealing Creme in, what color is this? Brulee. But just to start off, I'm gonna go ahead and do eyebrows. I don't really care if I do eyebrows before eyeshadow or after eyeshadow. It depends on what kind of a rush I'm in, and depends whenever I do people's makeup. If they have really unruly eyebrows, I'll try to get those like set aside first, so then I know how to blend their eyeshadow and like where to frame everything. But if they have typical eyebrows, then I just kind of do eyebrows after the eyeshadow. It doesn't really matter. But I'm gonna be using the two products. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in soft brown, and then this is my favorite ever, Maybelline Brow Precise in deep brown. You really can't get this very many places. I found it at TJ Maxx, so there's that. But it's just kind of like a tinted brow gel that I use after I fill in my eyebrows. But basically, you just want to brush your eyebrows into the top corners of your face and then just create hair-like strokes. You don't want to fill in your eyebrows like you're a coloring book. You want to create hair-like strokes to make it look natural. But I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera because most people know how to do eyebrows anyway. Okay, now that my brows are done, I just filled them in first and then went over it with the brow gel. Just made it really natural. I already kind of have like fuller, like darker brows, so I only filled in the areas where there was holes where I wanted it to look like there was more hair. Besides that, I just kind of like left it. Like I barely did anything on this brow, but this one's bald in the eyebrow, so had to fill that one in. But let's just jump into eyeshadow because that is the main feature of this event here. I'm gonna go in with this Eco Tools brush. It's like a dual-ended brush, and so I'm gonna be using this side, and it looks like this. It's very densely packed, but like rainbow shaped. Basically, you're just gonna first go in with a very dark brown. I have two different palettes here. I have the Morphe Always Golden, really cute, and then I have my forever favorite, my Lorac Pro, but they both just have a dark brown color in it, and honestly you could use both. So I'm just gonna go in with the Lorac dark brown, but what I'm gonna do is just go in and only using one side of the brush, just kind of like wipe it almost just to where the product stays on one side and near the front half of the brush and not so much the base of the brush. Then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna like carve out my sockets almost. Sounds a little weird. Anyways, but I'm gonna carve out my sockets and I'm gonna start and follow the socket of my eye all the way to here, but instead of just making it like a circle right here, I'm gonna bring the outer tip kind of like to right here and then back in. Just kind of, you'll see what I mean whenever I make it, but you wanna make that kind of shape because it'll pull your eyes out and open and it'll look really pretty. So I'm just really lightly going in, see, carving it out. But instead of following this half all the way down, I'm going to make about like this kind of a shape. So that, okay, make that. And I'm not pressing hard at all. I'm just lightly making it to where I like the shape of it. And it's okay if the product is like densely packed. You want it to be darkest in your crease, and we'll blend it out later to where it like diffuses up the rest of the eye. So now that we finished with that part, we're gonna go in and do the same thing to the other eye. Lots of back and forth motion going on here. So now that you've done that, I'm going to wipe off my color with, this is called a color switch. never heard of these till a few weddings ago. I did one where I had my friend Jaylene help me with the wedding and doing the bridesmaids, and she got me one of these color switches. Brilliant. You just have your eyeshadow brush all filled up with the one dark color. You go like this and it takes all the color off. Color switch. You can switch the colors. Anyways, with the same brush, now that it's clean, I used to just wipe it on my hand or on a t-shirt or whatever. You're just gonna go around the edges, like right the edges of where you were, and just kind of really lightly go back and forth. You see how it's already starting to like blend it? I don't wanna pull the color up or anything. I'm just kind of softening the edges of the lines I already made and doing the same thing, working my way down this way into this corner. Now that I want it a little bit darker, I can now put some more brown into the crease. Since I've diffused it, I can kind of see what the basic color is, but I really want my crease to be darker. So I just kind of am going to pack in a little bit more and just keep it very centralized into the area of my sockets. Okay, now that we have that, you're going to go back in with the dark brown, and where you kind of had this angle going on, do that on your lower lid, but only kind of on the outside third and at an angle. So it's kind of like, I don't know, that kind of shape going on. Okay, so now that we have this on this eye, this is kind of the look we're going for so far, like the shape of it. I'm gonna go ahead and do that to this side of the eye, and I will show you what the next step is. Okay, so now that I'm back from doing this eye, you're gonna basically just take whatever is left on the eyeshadow brush and just kind of go into the inner corners of your eye like this. Barely just wipe it, just right here on your lid on the inner corners. This will cause your eye to look more round than just kind of like out and out. And it makes it look a lot more like smooth, I guess is the word. Alright, so next I'm actually going to do the transition shade. Now most people do the transition shade first, but I'm doing it last just because of the nature of this look that I was trying to go for. But I'm going to take my Morphe palette and I'm going to mix this color and this color. This is called Splendid and Aware. And I'm just going to barely just tap and tap on both of these. Tap it off. And then the same place you would always put your transition shade, I'm just going to start right around here. Not the top part of my entire eye, but just kind of like right at the arch almost. I don't know. So I'm just going to keep going in with both colors and doing this until I like to see the transition of the dark brown to the medium-ish brown to this color in the gradient that I desire. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and do it on the other side, my friends. I'm telling y'all, this was one of the most flattering bridal looks I'd ever done, and I did it on the bridal party, but it just looked so good on all the girls because they all had different hair colors, they all had different skin tones, but they also all wore very light makeup in real life, so this was just something that ended up fitting all of their skin tones, all of their hair colors, and it didn't make them feel as if they were like clowns, which is just, you know, kind of my goal, that the client is happy and doesn't feel like a clown after I do their makeup. Okay, now that I have that, I'm going to go back in with the dark brown and just kind of go back into my crease again, just to really accentuate it. Okay, so now that that's that, we're going to go in and just do like a little bit of the sparkly color just on the center part of our lids. So I'm taking, this is the shade Medallion, and a little bit of the rose bronze, and I'm mixing it, tapping off my own finger, then just very lightly going in the center and just making it really just like gentle, but still something that highlights the center enough to create the rounded shape or enhance the rounded shape that we've already spent so long to make. Look who decided to join us for eyeliner. Okay, this is butter, everyone. So for eyeliner, I decided to not do straight black eyeliner or liquid liner because I wanted to keep a very soft look for the bridal party. And I think it's also really pretty for brides in general just to have a very soft look for their eyes, unless they're intending to go for glam. But with like it being a summer wedding that I did, I think it looks really pretty doing what I just did right here that I'm about to show you guys. So I'm just taking this really dense angled brush, and you can use any black matte eyeshadow that you have and brown eyeshadow that you used earlier for in your crease, and I'm just going to very, very lightly just like tap on the edge and get the product just right on the edge of that angled brush with the black. And then I'm gonna do the exact same thing on the exact same spot in brown. The brown is going to soften out what you're doing with the black just so it looks very natural but still kind of like brings your eye up and out. Now with the wing liner, the key for this look is to not bring your wing liner up and out. It looks really pretty for a lot of other things, but for like this natural sultry look that I was trying to go for the Bridesmaids, I instead just kind of went almost straight out. So I'm going to start where I want to put the wing. And I already did a tutorial on just eyeshadow and wing liner in general, but that was for liquid wing liner. So if you want to go look at that, check it out in the description box. But for this look, it's kind of the same deal where you just start where you want the wing to be. Like instead of pulling it out, that's always really risky. So start where you want the wing to end. And what I'm going to do is just going to go straight out and bring it right into, like, it should meet about like a third of the way into your eye before it kind of like goes flush. So remember, we're really trying to soften this look out with the brown so it doesn't look so black, because I don't really want there to be seen that much black in this look. And I actually really love doing eyeliner with eyeshadow because it's much more forgiving. Like if you mess up or like want to redo a wing, you don't have to like wipe off the whole eyeliner or hope that you're not gonna smudge anything. You just like blend it back into like the rest of your eye look and you're done and you can start over. Okay, so now that we have that, we are going to move on to concealer before we do any sort of eyeshadow underneath our eyes. I like doing foundation, eyeshadow, and then concealer because then you can catch and like put away all the other like things that have like fallen down. Plus you give yourself time to let your foundation set to where you know what to like cover up or fill in before you're like all done. But I showed you guys this product earlier in the video. This is just the Becca Ultimate Coverage Cream. I just use my finger and you guys will see how good of coverage this gives, yet it's like, it doesn't dry, meaning that it's not like Shape Tape or something, because whenever that dries, I've always found that it makes my under eyes look very like cakey, or I get the lines or just something and it doesn't look very good. But with this, because it has a little bit of a sheen that stays with it the whole time that it's on, it looks more like skin and it doesn't dry and crack or fill into your creases under your eyes. But I just kind of bring that down to here. Bop, 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 bop. I'm just like bopping all over my face right now with my finger. And I never go all the way up to my lash line for multiple reasons. One, because whenever I put the eyeshadow there, I want the eyeshadow to be able to stay. And if you put a powder over a cream, sometimes it gets a little like creasy and weird. Also, I don't like how I get like the lines underneath my eyes of concealer or foundation. So if you don't bring it all the way up, you never get those, like ever. So instead I just take like a fluffy brush. You can even just use the foundation brush or blender that you use, and I just take whatever's there and just kind of blend it in, but I don't actually directly put any sort of concealer right where that crease is under my eye. But I'm going to go ahead and do the same for under this eye, kind of bring it down to where the coloring looks more natural, like how the light would typically hit your face. And now I'm just going to cover up a few spots that I see in myself. Nobody else may see these, but that's okay. What I love about this though is that it literally just kind of like melts into your skin whenever I use my finger, just because the heat of my finger really just pushes it in and melts it, so it doesn't look like it's just like concealer sitting on top of foundation. So now that my concealer's on, I'm just going to take my brush, and since I use my finger to apply it, I'm just going to go ahead and push. I'm not rubbing, but just pushing all the areas where I put concealer, just because I feel like it really diffuses any sort of harsh lines that there might be of a break between just like concealer foundation, and it makes it look smooth. Okay, so now that we have that, I'm going to go back in with my Morphe palette and just take this really fluffy side of my brush with the Aware and Splendid, but I'm going to go in from all the way on the outside into the inside of the eye instead of just going halfway like some people do. I find that it actually tends to open up the eye more, and it draws attention away from dark circles. I don't know about you, but I have really dark circles. No matter how much sleep I get, I still have dark circles. It's just massively stupid. But doing this drastically draws attention away from the dark circles and instead pulls it more into this part of my eye. Okay, now the thing that I actually do halfway is go back in with my dark brown, and I use just like a smaller side of the brush. You can use the brush that you used to get in your creases with, and I'm just gonna do that from the outer corner about halfway in on top of the already blended like clay colors. This just continues to aid in our efforts to pull the look like deeper this way and then up this way. Okay, so now that we have that, I'm just gonna curl my eyelashes and pop on some mascara. You can use fake lashes. I love using the House of Lashes fake lashes, or you can even use individual lashes if you know how to do those. But for a lot of the bridesmaids, some wore fake lashes if they wanted to. I put them on for them if they wanted to bring some. Other ones, if they didn't want to wear it, I didn't make them wear it. So it looks natural either way, and it looks really pretty either way. But the mascara that I'm gonna go in with is, I think I'll do both. I like the L'Oreal Telescopic. It looks like a little telescope. I just kind of realized that a few months ago after using this for a while. But I do this first, and then I go over it with the NYX Worth the Hype. And this makes it look fluffy, but this makes it look nice and long and separated. But I'm gonna go ahead and do my mascara off camera and come back so we can finish up the rest of the face with like bronzer, blush, and highlight. Okay, I'm back from doing mascara, and as you can see, with just mascara, it honestly looks really pretty and natural, but for a wedding day and for wedding pictures, it does make sense to wear something like fake lashes or even just individual lashes to give it a little bit more like oomph to it. So for an everyday look, this is still pretty. But for brides, I say if you can and want to do fake lashes, by all means, go ahead and do it. All right, so now we're just gonna move on to like bronzer slash contour. I always love my Fenty Beauty go-to. This is in Mocha, and I just use my brush. I used to use my fingers and this, but for clients, I like to use a brush because it's a little bit more sanitary. But you can see how I already do this in my everyday spring makeup tutorial that I filmed a few months ago. That is down in my description if you would like to see. Besides that, nothing really different is going on here with the bronzer. I'm just trying to blend upwards and in circles and make it very light, but I love using cream blushes just because it continues to like accentuate the whole I want your skin to look like skin effect that I try to go for whenever I do other people's makeup, because I don't want them to feel outside themselves. But I'm just blending that all around very lightly, not too much on my forehead, but just enough to where it kind of carries the look. But I'm not even having any product on here. I'm just kind of like going around my jawline, and then I do get a little product and pinch my brush to do very, very, very light nose contour. Again, not anything too heavy because my nose already looks like a nose, so don't really need to contour it, but I just do it so all the shadows look like they're the same tone. So if I have shadows here that I'm trying to create, I want these shadows to look the same as these natural shadows, same as these natural shadows. But now I'm gonna go in with my blush. I just use the Benefit Gold Rush. It looks really pretty and like kind of like nectar-y for a wedding, so I really like the way it looks on brides and bridesmaids. But to give this look a sun-kissed glow, I just take a little blush and I put it on the bridge of my nose. Sounds weird, but I'm telling you, it just looks like there's sun hitting you, and in pictures it looks so pretty and so natural because this is around the same area that you would get sun if you had sun on your cheeks and you're blushing. Then you always get sun a little bit on your nose. And now to the beloved highlighter. I like using the Benefit Watts Up. Honestly, any liquid highlighter is good, but this cream liquidy one looks so pretty because it has more of like a champagne undertone, and I just love it to keep that. Again, I like using everything cream. I don't have a cream blush, even though I am looking for one, but everything I try to make cream just because it makes it look so much more natural. And then for highlighter, I do not do the highlighter straight down the bridge of the nose because naturally sun just hits the tip of the nose and actually just right here. You don't ever get really shiny right here. So that's where the blush goes, is kind of right here on the bridge. But then right here in between my eyes and on the tip of my nose is typically where one shines whenever the sun is hitting it. So again, it's just all going for accentuating what nature would already do, which is shine all right here. And then I'm just gonna put a little bit on the tip of my finger, make it in the corners of my eyes, and it really does just brighten up the whole look. And then very lightly, just on my Cupid's bow, but not too much. Okay, now we're gonna move into lip color. So for the wedding, I actually loved it because I had two different lip colors, this really pretty matte pink one and then this cream nude one. And half the bridesmaids chose the nude and the other half chose the pink, which worked out perfectly. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys both. So we'll start with the cream. This is a MAC pencil in Whirl. And I'm just gonna line my lips with it. I'm not gonna fill it all the way in. And then I'm gonna go in with this cream colored one in Jubilee. I like using two different colors rather than Jubilee, or Whirl and Whirl, just because this is a little bit darker, so whenever I line my lips with this and put this over, it just barely creates like this full like pouted look rather than just like a straight color. Okay, so now that I've lined my lips with Whirl, I'm gonna go in with the Jubilee color and we'll see what it looks like. All right, so here's the nude lip color, and honestly, I think this would look so pretty for brides just because it really just enhances the eyes and makes the lips look there, but not like the main event kind of thing. So you could do this if you're a bride or a bridesmaid, and I think it looks really pretty, but I'm gonna show you guys the other color now. Now, I had never tried any Morphe lipstick products until I got this for their wedding, and I actually loved them. Like, they stayed on really well. All the bridesmaids were able to eat all of the food, and none of their lipstick came off, and I was like, okay. Plus, this thing was only like $10, I would say. But this goes on, it's just like the prettiest rose color. And I loved it. All the bridesmaids looked so good in it with whatever hair colors they had, and I just think this is also really pretty for brides. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys what color it's in. This is Fatty. Who names these things? I did not know Morphe was made in Australia. What? But now that you've seen the two lip colors, this concludes my wedding or bridal party makeup tutorial. I hope that you guys liked it and that you guys are able to use this for whatever events you use, whether it be some sort of wedding thing or not. If you like this video and want me to make more makeup tutorials in the future, don't forget to like this video down below and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, I'm not getting married or anything anytime soon, even though that would be kind of amazing. But you never know, I might use this as my wedding look, so we'll see. But until that day comes, I will be here posting new videos every Friday. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. It really does look like a telescope. Pretty genius marketing on that one.